far now, sir. Less than half a mile.
Then perhaps we can travel it with the window closed.
Is that an order, Mr. Bishop?
Aren't you being just a trifle formalistic about a simple request?
No, sir. A closed window wouldn't stop a bullet coming in, but a shattered pane would slow me down if I tried to return the fire.
Very well. Though I doubt whether anyone would try a shot on the outward journey. Drive on, Barney. Deplorable, of course, in the welfare state. One can't help envying these chaps. No cares, no responsibilities. Just the open road by day and the stars by night. Sleeping in the hay and...
Bless you.
Thank you. Now, what was I saying?
Well, you were saying how nice it was to have me back, how unfortunate the whole thing had been, how I'd been missed. Are you alone, sir? I was expecting Hunter.
Busy man, Callan. I imagine he'd have sent his apologies if the thought had occurred to him.
Well, I would think he could spare a couple of hours for a chat. After all, we haven't had much to do with each other during the past 8 months, have we?
Hardly his fault, Callan.
Hardly mine, sir. I didn't go into a Russian prison out of personal choice.
Yes, indeed. Most unfortunate, I'm sure. Been a bad year for all of us, one way and another. Pollen count's been dreadful.
2 weeks ago, I requested to speak to Hunter. I still want to speak to him.
Talk to me instead.
With all due respect, I don't know you. I know Hunter. All I know about you is that your name is Bishop and you're a senior man.
Senior to Hunter. What should we talk about?
The future.
Your future?
I want to get out.
Why not? Your debriefing's over. Doctor's pronounced you fit. Psychiatrist seems reasonably unhappy. You'll be returning to London with me today.
I meant out of the service.
Oh, retire. Aren't you a little young for that sort of thing?
I'm 1,000 years old.
How do you propose to support yourself in your retirement?
Well, I could get another job.
Your qualifications, of course, a few raised eyebrows, the appointments bureau.
I could start a small business.
That would require capital. You surely wouldn't expect a golden handshake. I doubt if we can manage a gold watch.
Well, I think I'm owed something.
Indeed, you do have civil service classification, of course. In cases of premature retirement, we might be able to manage a half pension or something of the sort. But with your grading and length of service, hardly keep you in affluence.
Thank you.
We try to do our best for our people.
Now, you must have your work cut out with the group insurance scheme.
Callan, sarcasm is out of place. You haven't been treated badly. Your full salary was paid during your absence.
You talk as though I'd been inside.
Indeed, yes. I should also observe that during the period in question, your operational supplement was not deducted, although, strictly speaking, you were non-operational.
Well, you see, sir, there were these guards.
Put all thoughts of retirement from your head, Callan. It just isn't on. You're a marked man. You'll just simply have to stay with the service.
All right, well, not in the field. And I don't mind what I do, anything, as long as it's 9 to 5 and I don't get killed.
Extraordinary. Is it modesty or simply lack of self-confidence?
Huh?
Oh, never mind. No time to go. I expect you're quite looking forward to getting back to London.
Yes, yeah. Oh, it's all right down here, but I'm a city man myself. I mean, the countryside's only the bits in between. Anyway, there's a friend I want to see.
Could you contrive to look a little less noble, do you think?
I'm sorry, mister, just try to keep an eye on the van. That better?
Not much, but it'll do. I want you to look natural, Lonely, not as though you were about to deliver the Gettysburg Address. Come on, relax. Just be your normal, smelly self.
Oh, I can't help that, can I? That's a medical condition. It's excessive glandular activity, which is brought on by nervous tensions. Well, anyway, that's what he told me.
Oh, your best friend?
Mr. Callan? Oh, no, it wasn't him. It was this doctor I went to.
I was making a joke, Lonely.
Oh, I see. No. Mr. Callan wouldn't say nothing like that. No, he'd be much more direct.
Have you seen him lately?
Not since the last time.
That's logical.
Put a wind up me, that did. Standing there looking down at his own grave. I thought it was a ghost at first.
And you haven't touched a drop since?
I swear to God, I was as sober as the headstones. I was him all right. It was Mr. Callan. It wasn't no ghost neither. He's around somewhere. But the trouble is, I just can't think where to look.
Why don't you go to the police?
What? Well, I can hardly do that. Can I? I mean, I'm not his next of kin or anything.
Is that the only reason?
Of course it is. Why?
Well, I noticed a fine film of perspiration forming when I mentioned the word police.
Not at all. It's just that... Well, I mean, I'm new to this male model lark.
Oh, good heavens. You can hardly develop a nervous tension sitting still at 50 pence an hour here. Here's a drink. Have that. Perhaps it'll relax you.
Tell you the truth, miss, I quite enjoy it, but I don't tell my mates, though. Cheers. To be honest, I got a wind up first time, though.
Why?
Well, you know, I mean, I thought... Well, it just came to me sudden like that when you said you wanted me to pose for you. You know, that you might have meant... Well...
Well, what?
Well, you know... Get the clothes off.
What a gruesome thought. There's someone down at your truck.
Where?
Up there. Getting into that car.
Here. I know that geezer.
Welcome home, Callan.
Do you know how long it has took you to collect 2 old boilers and a gas cooker? Hour and a half, that's what it's took you.
Oh, don't go on about it, Mr. Trowbridge. Just give us an unload.
Been to see your fancy piece again, haven't you? Disgusting. I don't know what the standard of decency are coming to these days.
No, steady your end. I think I may have ripped my back.
Well, I can guess how you ripped it, you dirty little toe rag. It's disgusting what some women will take a fancy to. Married, is she? Old man in the nick, is he? Keeping his place warm, are you? Well, not during working hours. Not even if she's the wife of one of your mates. Down ya. You'll get out sooner or later then, lonely, and God help you.
Bull cocks.
What?
I said bull cocks. I've got 6 lovely copper ones for you. I'll go fetch them.
I thought you were being disgusting again. Lucky little swine. Come to a sticky end now. I says you'll come to a sticky end. Blimey.
Nice, it's all very nice. The fixtures and fittings include a permanent guard, do they?
Yes, 24 hours. There'll be somebody from the section on duty downstairs, and you will not leave the premises unescorted. We've used this place for years, Callan. The management understand our requirements.
Well, it's not overlook. So this is a bit dicey, isn't it? I mean, anyone could get in here. I'll take it back. Is that bulletproof, is it?
Yes. If you feel an overwhelming need for fresh air, you can switch off the bell.
Well, you've done me proud. What's it all about?
Well, it's too silly for words, really.
Well, tell me, I'll have a good laugh.
We've been studying the transcript of your debriefing sessions.
Well, it's all there. I held nothing back.
I'm sure you didn't. You were equally candid with your Russian interrogators, it would seem.
They would have got the answers sooner or later, one way or another. I wasn't trying to set up any endurance record.
No one is criticizing you, Callan.
I'm very glad about that, sir. Because they only got out of me what I knew they had already. I gave nothing free.
We can't be sure.
We can be very sure of that, sir. I've just told you.
Come on, Callan. We're both aware that a scopolamine injection does wonders for the inhibitions.
We are also aware that if they'd given me the full dosage, I'd have brains like scrambled eggs.
Yes, that's the big drawback with drugs. They're unreliable, have a different effect on different personalities. Fact and fantasy become confused. Still, if your recollection of the conscious interrogations is accurate...
Accurate? Oh, come on. You've had me on a tape recorder 4 hours a day for 6 weeks.
Intelligence analysis have come up with a most amusing theory.
Do tell me, sir.
That the KGB wildly overestimated your importance. I mean no offence.
Thank you.
They also had their own internal reasons for wanting their man back, and they were confident they had something of equal value on offer. Frankly, Callan, we were short-changed in the transaction. Their confidence was, however, mixed with an obvious regret at parting with you.
Well, it's nice to feel wanted.
You think so? The current state of the game is that circumstances, having forced them to yield up a dangerous and valuable pawn, they will now try to do something about it.
You mean I'm a target?
We have positive information that they put someone in to kill you. Who, how, where, when?
So you see, you chose a particularly inopportune moment to discuss your future when it seems all too possible that you won't have one.
Look, I've got a gun. The fellow downstairs has got a gun. We've got a bulletproof window upstairs.
For the moment. These items have to be justified in the overall pattern of things. So difficult to explain bureaucratic thinking. You just don't rate them, Callan, not in your present position.
I'm beginning to wish I'd stayed where I was.
Frankly, your return has been something of an embarrassment to us. We didn't know what to do with you. I commented earlier on your modesty and lack of self-confidence.
Yes, I didn't understand what you meant then.
You suggested various ways in which you might be employed in a non-operational role, but you didn't suggest promotion to a higher executive position.
Too right, I didn't. I wouldn't want it. Not my thing, is it?
One would have inferred otherwise from the evidence. Indeed, it seems that the KGB have.
What evidence?
Your interest in model soldiers, for instance. No, I did say model, not toy.
Oh, thank you. All right, so I like model soldiers. I'm interested in uniforms, military history, so? What you know all about it. I mean, it's like a game of chess. I mean, there are certain rules. You abide by these rules.
How often do you reverse the verdict of history?
Oh, you mean how often do I win? Well, it's 50-50. Win as often as I lose.
Modesty?
All right, I usually win.
I thought you might.
Look, come on, what's all this about?
Well, you enjoy the vicarious thrill of command. You make correct command decisions. With model soldiers.
Well?
Well? Isn't it about time you started playing with real ones?
Think about it. You going to the club?
Somebody lose their no-claim bonus?
I did. Happened right here in the yard. Petrol tank blew up.
Petrol tank? Well, you lot would get automated, wouldn't you?
What do you mean?
Well, I've never heard of an exploding horse.
So it could have been worse. The driver wasn't inside.
The driver. Lonely, is that right?
That's right. Lazy, starved, adventurous little swine.
Yeah, that sounds like the man. Is he about?
I haven't seen him since he left in the ambulance. That was last week.
Thought you said he wasn't inside the truck.
He's close enough to cop the blast, wasn't he? They took him to Paddington General.
All right, thanks. So I'll take him some grapes.
You waste your time. I went there to see how he was, and he wasn't.
He wasn't what?
He wasn't there. He discharged himself.
They say why?
They probably threatened him with a bed bath. Hang about. Your name Callan?
Grimshaw, why?
Just wondered. He was always on about a geezer called Callan, worked for a big metal merchant. I never heard of him. He was always on about finding him.
Oh, yeah. I went up to the place where he rents a room. They said they hadn't seen him for some days. You any idea where he went when he wasn't working?
I told you, he was never working. Lazy, skiving, lecherous little toe rag.
Told me. Sorry, I don't quite understand. Lecherous.
He used to go visiting this bird, being with her for hours sometimes. Young, nicely turned out with the stuff she was. You'd never believe it.
You're right, I don't. He's not exactly a midnight cowboy, is he?
No, he never let on, but I reckon she was the wife of some mate who was inside. And he put the heavy mob onto Lonely. Enough said.
Yeah. Big bang, was it?
It does sound as though you're having second thoughts about Callan.
No, I'm simply repeating the first ones. In my opinion, he's still the obvious choice.
He's never done anything quite like this before.
He's never done anything remotely like it before.
It could make him.
Or break him.
No. We'd do that.
Malodorous and calls himself lonely?
That's the one. Have you seen him lately?
No, I haven't, not for a week. He works at the scrapyard about 2 streets away, if you...
Well, yes, I mean, they told me that he was here.
Ah. Then I'm afraid I can't help you, Mr...
Grimshaw. Ministry of Social Security.
Oh, dear. Hot on the trail of an unstamped card.
Oh, no, it's not my department. No, I'm welfare. I suppose I really shouldn't be discussing his business with you, but he is a rather sad case. It's about his wife.
Oh, I didn't know he had one.
No, he hasn't. Not now. She went to a better place a month ago. It's the children, you see. I mean, the neighbours, they can't look after them forever.
No. Oh, I am sorry.
Well, I'm sure he'd want to make arrangements, you see. I understand that he came round here quite often.
Oh, yes, maybe 5 or 6 times in the past month.
5 or 6 times. You must have a lot of junk.
No, he was posing for me.
Posing?
I'm painting his portrait. You know, Lonely has really quite an interesting face. It's full of peculiar angles and unexpected bumps. It's quite grotty, really, but there's that terrible sadness in his eyes.
Yeah. Life has not been kind. Nor has nature, if it comes to that. You know, I never saw him as an artist model.
No, nor did he at first. See, I haven't been here long. When I first took over the tenancy, I decided to get rid of some old gas fittings and things that were hanging about. So I went down to the local scrapyard, and the moment I saw Lonely's face, I thought, oh, I must catch that in all its squalid glory. That reminds me, I owe him £2.
You owe him?
50 pence an hour, it's his fee.
Well, if you owe him money, there's every chance he'd be back for it.
I'll tell him you called.
No, I'd rather you didn't. I mean, he's bound to want to know why I called, and I think that would be better coming from me. It's bound to be a bit of a shock.
Of course.
Well, Miss Mayhew, if you could find out where he is, you know, discreetly.
Leave your number and I'll call you.
No, I'm out most of the day. I think it'd be better if I called you. Well, thank you for your help, Miss Mayhew. I'll be in touch.
Not at all. Oh, you could be lucky, Mr. Grimshaw.
How's that?
The owner of that car might be able to help you. Lonely said he knew him.
Oh, thank you. This bus, is it from the section pool?
Yes. Why?
Who had it out last week?
I don't know. Well, lots of people. But I think Cross had it last.
Marvellous, isn't it?
Yes?
Callan is here, sir.
Send him in.
Evening, sir.
Good evening, Callan. Right on time. Punctuality and curiosity often go together.
Yes, well, I have been wondering what's what. During the past few days, you didn't give very much away.
Got a job for you.
Yeah, well, I thought you might. Look, before you tell me what you've got on your mind, sir, perhaps I ought to tell you what I've got on mine.
The Bishop's already done so. You want to be reassigned, huh? Away from field work.
That's right. Cipher analysis, intelligence liaison, I don't mind what it is, anything.
Anything?
As long as it's non-operational.
Very well.
It was that easy?
Sit down, Callan.
Where, sir?
Try that one for size.
That's your chair, sir.
Goes with the job.
Yeah.
It isn't a joke, Callan. It's a serious offer.
That's what makes it a joke. Listen, do you know what that bit of furniture means to me? That's orders that turn my stomach. Lying, cheating, double-dealing, dying. That bloody desk has dominated my life.
Life can look different from the other side.
No.
Why not?
Look, haven't you been listening to me? I've just told you why not.
That quite gratuitous and over-emotional outburst told us nothing. Still, it's better out
Look,
than in.
I'm not taking that bloody job, and that is that.
Have you considered the fringe benefits that go with it?
Yeah.
Status, seniority, safety?
I've known a couple of hunters connected with that chair who weren't too safe, sir.
True, but you will observe that this one is walking out on his own 2 feet.
Where are you going?
Better things. The chair is vacant, Callan.
Why? Why me?
A number of reasons. You're the most experienced operative in the section, will that do? And we're reluctant to put you back into the field.
You said reasons, plural.
They vary from the trivial to the serious. They think they've traded weight for weight. Now, when they discover they haven't, well, it's a question of prestige. We can't have them sniggering into their samovars.
There is another more fundamental reason. It assumes it's imperative that I assume control of the Scheduled Territories Department immediately, and at this moment we have no time to find a successor.
Well, that's your problem, isn't it? Look, I've already told you I'll go to another department.
But you're a specialist, my dear chap. The other departments are serviced by specialists. No, just won't do.
Right, well, that leaves one alternative, doesn't it?
2, actually. But what was the one you had in mind?
Hail and farewell.
No.
Oh, come on, look, sir, I'll be just like any other tax-evading citizen you bump into in Oxford Street.
You'd be the only one in a red file. Work it out for yourself, Callan. If you're not Hunter, who would be? Think of his position, how he'd regard you. An ex-operative on the loose, unattached, knowing what the section's for, how it works, who's in it.
Look, I'm not going to bloody well defect, mate. I've just got back.
That's not the only danger. We couldn't risk you turning freelance.
And you think I'd do that?
It only has to be possible. Now, Callan, we're proposing the only solution acceptable to all of us. Take the job.
Well, I suppose it is a bit better than some unmarked grave in a pine forest.
So,
Yeah, well, I do know how to work the intercom, and I think I can come to terms with the paperclip dispenser and the staple gun. I've used a telephone before.
you haven't used this one, nor for that matter have I.
Oh, what is it?
It's a direct line. Only accepts incoming calls.
From where?
You find out if it ever rings. In the event that it does, you obey to the letter any instructions you receive.
Anything else?
Yes, certain files in the archives are lead sealed. You have no authority to open them.
Why, what's in them?
I have no idea. But these apart, all other facilities are for use and without question. Oh. Except this. You can provide your own. This is personal property. I've grown rather fond of it.
Well, I'll try not to feel deprived. You're chucking me in the deep end, aren't you?
Well, you may need assistance. In the event of an emergency, Liz knows where I can be reached.
Well, there is one thing. The other members of the section. How are they going to feel about my appointment?
I would expect certain resentments. Does that bother you?
I can cope.
I hope so. Well, I think that's everything. I leave without a particle of regret. Good night, Callan. Hunter.
Putting up the under new management notice?
Sorry, your name isn't on it.
When does he deign to review the troops?
He'll be in later today.
Does he, know about Lonely?
I don't think so.
My, he will be surprised.
Come inside. I'll find you something to eat.
Yes, sir?
Liz, bring a pen and pencil in here, will you? Sir's got a shopping list. Chintz curtains next.
Oh, I thought you might like them, sir.
I do. I like them very much. They'll make a standing order. Look, it's David in private, right?
I'd feel more comfortable with Sir. Sir.
Have it your way.
There is one other file. A red one. I think you should look at it now, sir.
I didn't know there was one outstanding. How long's this been active?
Just over a week, sir. Cross was assigned to it.
I don't know where he is. We've mislaid him.
And where have you mislaid him? On some Essex mudflat, down a disused mine shaft? I mean, where do we dump them these days? Or perhaps there was another funeral with a phony death certificate.
No, that method proved unsatisfactory. They sometimes come back.
I didn't ask you to sit down. Where is he?
Look, Mr. Callan, just because they put you behind
Sir.
a big...
Call me sir.
That would really stick in my throat.
Then you are going to have to learn to swallow very hard, Mr. Cross. I'm dishing out the jobs now, all right? I know which knife to use, and I know exactly how to turn it.
There's no point in having authority if you don't abuse it. Lonely did go into a red file, sir. But I wasn't ordered to kill him, sir. If you don't believe me, look in the bloody file. Sir seems to have a problem.
Yes, sir?
Liz, how do I get in touch with Hunter?
You are Hunter, sir.
Don't mess me about, Liz. You know what I mean.
I'll get him for you, sir.
Of course I put him in a red file. The decision was logical. He was crowding us, Callan. You must know that. You've read the reports. Simply wouldn't accept you were dead. Went around asking questions. Heaven knows what he'd found out.
You didn't tell me that when I took on the job. I want Lonely out of that red file.
Then give the order. The decision is entirely yours, since you are, after all, in charge of the section.
Yeah, well, that's it then, isn't it?
I've no doubt you'll be able to defend your decision with reasoned and cogent argument.
Well, I didn't notice much of that from you. Do it. That was your motto.
To my subordinates, yes, but Explanations like sparks fly upwards. After all, we are responsible to someone. And if you make a decision, you must be prepared to justify it with something more than emotion.
Yeah, well, supposing I can't.
Then it might give rise to some second thoughts about the suitability of your appointment. I know what decision your successor would make.
Oh, yes.
So, it's up to you. Good night, Hunter.
Thank you.
Nine 372. Oh, good evening, Mr. Grimshaw. Yes, as a matter of fact, he did. Yes, I do know where he's living, but I'm not at all sure that I should tell you.
Police? No, I've got nothing to do with the police. Yes, well, that is understandable, I suppose. He's been inside, so if anybody ever comes around asking questions, he naturally jumps to conclusions. Yes, I wish you would. Well, for the sake of the nippers, yes. Yes. Yes, I've got that. Right, thank you, Miss Mayhew. Don't you pass out on me again. I've looked for you in every doss house in London. Where you been the past week?
Where have I been? Where have you been?
All right, don't choke on your rock. I'm here now.
Yeah, but you was there then. Last time I seen you, you standing looking down at your own bleeding grave. What's the idea?
Well, it was a most unfortunate occurrence. The hearse left without me.
Oh.
You're in trouble, Lonely. Do you know that? You're in dead trouble.
I know that, don't I? Last time I do a favour for anybody. Got a law after me.
The law?
Yeah. Well, there was this explosion, you see, down the junkyard.
Yeah, I know all about that. What's the law got to do with it?
Well, they heard about it, didn't they?
Oh, blimey, come on, look. Stop messing up those fish and chips and tell me what happened.
Well, see, it was this friend of mine, Mr. Callan. I don't think you know him. But he just asked me to look after a parcel for him. I didn't know what was in it, did I?
Didn't you?
I might have had an idea.
Jelly.
Yeah, as it happens, Mr. Callan, yes, as it happens.
Marvellous, isn't it? You go trolling all over London with a packet of gelignite.
I didn't know it was off. Mr. Callan, I could have got killed. And last time I do a favour for a mate...
Come off it. You were planning a job, weren't you?
Well, he might have mentioned something of a sort.
Yeah, I bet he did. I'll leave you alone. 5 minutes, you're at it.
5 minutes? No, not 8 months, Mr. Callan. Not 5 minutes. Never a thought for anybody. You just push off somewhere, and then you put a word around it, you've snuffed it.
You keep your
then
voice
you come
down.
barging in your boldest blast and you try to turn me off a strip.
Keep your voice
Oh, yes,
down.
I know. What you'd say is there's worse things happen at sea, but then I'd say people who live in glass houses.
What the bloody hell are you talking about?
Oh, I've been thinking, Mr. Callan. Thinking about all the jobs we've done together. Well, just get me that set of papers, Lonely. Lonely, be a pal. Screw that safe, Lonely. Never mind the valuables. Get me that roll of film. Yeah, and then there was that geezer you went and sprung out a nick. Oh, I've been thinking, Mr. Callan. I know what 2 and 2 makes. I can guess where you've been for the past 8 months.
Russia? Why did you say that?
'Cause I'm no mug, Mr. Callan. I know how many beans make 9.
Now, you tell me, mate, how many beans make 9?
No, but I'll tell you what I think. I think you're a spy.
What did you say?
You heard me? I think a bleeding communist spy.
I want him found. And I want him found soon. Now, this operation hasn't been carried out too cleanly so far, so I'm reorganising the search.
We appreciate that very much.
I'm very glad you do. Because you haven't messed it up in the first place, you wouldn't be scared now, would you? Right, well, we know perfectly well that he hasn't been back to his digs. We know he hasn't been back to his work. That means he'll be short of cash. That cuts down the places he can go. Now, I've brought up to date a fresh list of possibilities. Sally Army hostels, doss houses, soup kitchens. I want them checked. And I want them checked thoroughly. Liz? Where have all the flowers gone?
They withered, sir.
Rush job for you. Should get on to documentation. Fix up a passport, and a birth certificate, driver's license, all the usual papers.
And the details, sir?
Authentic background, something that'll stand up in Somerset House. Adult male on or about 40, born in or around the East End. He's a merchant seaman, so we'll need special papers for that.
What about a passport photograph?
Get them to fix one up from that.
I'm sorry, sir.
It's not send a friend to heaven week, Liz.
Emigrate, Mr. Callan? Why should I want to do a thing like
Because
that?
the finger's on you. You're a bad insurance risk. You're on borrowed time.
Wait, you try to say somebody wants to kill me?
Oh, isn't it marvellous? I've actually got it through that thick skull without using a cold chisel. A great future for you in Canada, mate. There's none at all for you here.
All my friends is in England.
So are all your enemies.
What's all this then?
Here you are. A few £100. That's your back pay for when you're in Canada.
I'm not going to bleed in Canada.
Listen to me a minute, will you? Open that passport there. From now on, that's who you are. John William Cox. You're born in Hackney in 1928. That, under there, is your seaman's card.
Oh, what?
You signed on as a steward on the Cape Herta. You sailed from Tilbury on Wednesday.
I don't want to be a steward.
Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I didn't get time to fix you up as an air hostess.
Look,
Shut
Mr.
up and listen to me, will you? And when you get to Halifax, you jump ship. In the bedroom.
come in?
Well, it's a bit late. Is it important?
Yes, I think it is, yeah.
What is it?
I felt I ought to apologise for my behaviour towards you. Conduct unbecoming and all that.
Well, couldn't it wait till the morning?
Well, morning's a bad time for accepting apologies. I'd like to get it off my chest.
Why this sudden change of heart?
I realise I made a fool of myself. I'm sorry I said the things I did.
Well, we all make mistakes, don't we?
No heavy lean, then?
Oh, I see. That's what's bothering you, is it? Well, let's just say that we both lost our tempers and leave it at that.
Oh, thanks. Oh, they've done you really well, Mr. Callan. It must be nice having a Mayfair address.
Yes, it's not much good, though, if you can't boast about it, is it?
No. Well, shall we have a drink or something? Patch up the quarrel?
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I've got a lot of paperwork to get through. Perhaps some other time.
Oh, I look forward to that. You know, I've really got to hand it to you. I never thought you had it in you, if you don't mind me saying so.
I think I might if I knew what you were talking about.
Nothing uncomplimentary. I've always thought you were very good in the field, but I never thought you'd shape up when it came to making a really hard executive decision.
Well, I've had to make lots of hard decisions.
Yeah, that was always acting under orders, wasn't it? That transfers the responsibility. No, your performance this afternoon was very impressive. I've been thinking about it.
Really? What have you been thinking?
The way you set the dogs on Lonely. I'm not saying you didn't feel anything, just that you didn't show it. You know?
Well, it had to be done.
Yeah, and if you hadn't done it, then somebody else would have done it.
Oh, no, I don't think there would be any question of that.
No. And under your expert guidance, I've found him. Better let him in.
Who is he?
You'll know him.
Well, Callan, your message sounded urgent.
I didn't send a message.
Cross telephone a short time
I
ago.
merely anticipated orders, sir. Since you initiated the red file on Lonely, I assume Mr. Callan would like you to be present when it was closed, sir.
And you assumed wrongly. The matter has ceased to be my responsibility.
I know where Lonely is, sir.
Where?
He's here.
And how would he get here?
That's quite simple. You brought him. I found the taxi who dropped you both off.
Sorry that you've been troubled about this. I think I'll settle this matter in the morning. Quite obviously, discipline in this section does need tightening.
Yes, I've often remarked on it
If Lonely
myself.
isn't here, then you won't mind me having a look around the place, will you? Mind if I take a look in the bedroom first?
Too bloody true, I mind. Don't try, son.
As I said, I'm no longer involved in this matter. But if Hunter chooses to ignore the simplest means of refuting your allegations, then doubtless he has his own reasons.
He has his own reasons.
I am at a loss for words.
Well, I'm not, sir. I traced Lonely to a doss house in Paddington, and he left with a man answering Callan's description. They took a taxi from the local rank, and he dropped them not 2 streets away. Callan is lying, sir.
Quiet, Cross.
Lonely's in that bedroom.
A liar I may be, kinky I am not. Right, get out.
I can bloody smell him, Callan.
I was thinking of making 1 or 2 changes in my personnel.
That's up to you. I have noticed lately that Cross has become more than a little...
Yeah. You did mention fringe benefits, sir.
Good night.
Good night, sir. He's Scarlet.
But where could he go?
The Doss House. And so will Cross. Hello. Yes, this is Mr. Grimshaw speaking. I see, where is he?
Well, at the moment, he's upstairs, lying on my bed. Well, he looks as if he's been in a fight or something. Oh, no, it's not badly injured, but I don't want to disturb him. He wouldn't let me call a doctor, just asked me to contact you.
Yes, well, I quite appreciate he can't stay there all night. Look, I'll come and pick him up. Well, about half an hour. Thank you.
Well, where is he?
Now keep that window open and the telephone off the hook.
Why?
The gauge signal won't beg any questions, will it?
It's taking his time.
David?
(9372) Flo Mayhew. Yes, I understand. In 10 minutes. That was Callan. He's been delayed, but he'll be here. I'll take the suitcase down to the car.
Get in. Wise girl.
I'm no use to my people, dead.
You're no use to them alive now, are you?
We always
We'll get our
out.
agents back. I know.
You should know, Mr. Callan. How did you...
Well, you picked up lonely before you called me. Not long before, but long enough.
Pretty?
Yes. Now, how many have you got there waiting for me?
Just one?
Well, I'll try not to feel insulted.
Just one, but a good one.
Why don't your lot want him back?
A good one, but not one of ours.
Nobody loves a freelance. Keys in here, are they? How good is he?
Find out for yourself.
Oh, no. I'm non-operational. That's your problem, Cross.
You're a difficult man to get on your own.
Yes. You see, I remembered.
Remembered what?
I hadn't given you my phone number.
I could have got it from Lonely.
Oh, no. He didn't have it either.
Pretty?
Pity for some.
Do you think I might have a cigarette?
No.
Stafford's arranging disposal.
All right, drop me off, then take this one on.
I think you should come with us, Mr. Callan. Your friend's been asking for you.
Yes. Lonely.
Your problem, sir.
you.